name's Laura. Welcome to my channel. And I'm doing this video today about my Christianity and my raw veganism and how these two things are a part of my life. And I'm going to start off by talking about, first of all, today I don't have makeup on. I have nothing on my eyes, nothing on my skin. And it is a Sunday, and this is a day when I have a day of rest, and I let my skin rest, and I'm drinking my water, and I worship the Lord Jesus Christ on this day also. And so I'm just going to start off talking about veganism and a couple of different things, a few different questions that I've gotten about veganism. And sometimes people really don't understand why somebody would want to go vegan. And the reason that I chose to go vegan was my own personal things that I had went through, and the fact that there's a lot of things about meats and fish that I don't want in my body anymore. And I found that out from having eaten meat in the past, even though I was more of a pescatarian and I was vegetarian and vegan through a lot of years. I didn't eat meat like a lot of people did for a lot of years. But I grew up on meat. I grew up on meat and fish. And, you know, I ate all those things probably maybe even daily. Hot dogs, hamburgers, all of that stuff was given to me when I was growing up. So I wasn't raised in veganism, and I wasn't raised really in any particular religion. My family moved around a lot, and so, you know, I was with this part of my family and that part of my family, and everybody had mixed religions and different ideas and things. So I didn't have any real basis to anything. I just kind of went along as I went in life and learned my own things. So, you know, when people tell me things like, you know, Laura, you would feel better and you'd look better if you know, ate some meat, you know, I don't really understand that. I really don't comprehend it, because I did not look better or feel better when I did eat meat or fish or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I felt horrible. And I just want to say that I know that sometimes people will, the society, I guess, judges the way people look by the way their skin looks more plumped out. Like if I were to go, my skin would look more plumped out, and I would have, you know, maybe less of a jawline that I have, and that just the way that my face is structured, because I'm very, very tiny and stuff. So, you know, and some people, I've seen it a lot, not just with myself, but I see it out there with all kinds of different other raw vegans, that people want to say that they look yellow and we look emaciated and deterioration and all these kinds of things. And, you know, I don't really see any of these people looking deteriorated. As a matter of fact, I think that the brightness in the eyes, the clarity in the skin, and all of those things really make somebody look more healthy. But society has this protein obsession and this idea that when your face has a little more red to it from eating meats and stuff, that's a healthy look. And I've actually knew a person who was a little bit redder in the face and had, you know, more of a rounder face and had no wrinkles, and they had a heart condition, and when they had to lose all the weight, all the wrinkles and the skin and everything showed up after, because that doesn't necessarily mean good health, having reddish skin and having more of a plumper face. That's something that we were taught in society, is what health looks like. And so we have a little bit of a distorted vision on a lot of these things, in my opinion. And we have a distorted vision on a lot of the foods, and why we think that meats and proteins is what gives us the strength and health and calcium and stronger bones. I have not found that, in my opinion and my experience, to be true at all. I have found that since I have went this way, yes, I look a little bit thinner and things of that nature, but I also have more clarity in my skin, more clarity in my eyes, more clearness in my thinking. And I wake up every morning very early, and I'm wide awake when I wake up. And these foods, these raw living foods, have made me thrive and feel alive all the time. And that's why I've decided to go vegan. That was how I got started, was from researching and reading things, wanting to get better from being sick, from eating animal products. And even when I was eating a lot of meat, I was still eating dairy, and that was causing me a lot of trouble with my sinuses. And I was constantly tired, and I was dealing with chronic fatigue syndrome, and I was dealing with urinary tract infections all the time. And my skin, my face was, like I said, a little bit fuller, but it was not as clear, and my skin has been a lot more even toned since I've been on this lifestyle, because I did the kidney and the liver cleanses and all these different things. So and even not doing those things, just living a raw vegan plant-based lifestyle, a lot of the people that I do know that are on this lifestyle have had a lot of very similar situations that have happened to them, with people giving them a lot of rasp of stuff about the lifestyle, and also being accused of lying, saying that certain people are sneaking meat. And I don't know, there might be people in the community and in the past that have done that. I do not do that. I do not sneak meat. I don't have to have meat. I don't have to have reserves in my body to go back on to make me thrive on meat, because I've heard people say things like that too, that one of the reasons some vegans survive is because they have backup reserves of meat. This is a situation of people that do not believe that you can live on veganism. They just don't believe it. It's just not a belief. They still have it planted in their head that they need meat in order to be able to survive, and that's the best way, the best protein, and the best possible way of having sustainability, I guess is the word for it. And I have had better sustainability on this lifestyle, being that I have felt so much better. To me, that's a lot more sustaining than falling asleep and yawning all day and feeling tired constantly, and constantly running to the doctors for things, and having to get prescriptions, and having to take constant antibiotics and aspirin and Advil and all of these things that I used to have to do in order to be able to just live on a standard lifestyle and eat fish and these things that I used to do, and have dairy, and stuff like that. So, that was my experience with that lifestyle. So that was why I chose slowly through the years, as I researched, to go into this lifestyle. And this is what has worked for me. As far as my Christianity goes, and why I choose that, is because I used to have different beliefs. I used to believe in more of a new age. I used to believe in the 7 chakras, and I used to believe in meditation and burning incense and all these different things. And I changed my thoughts when my life totally fell apart, and I finally found the Lord Jesus Christ. And that was just my path that I went through. There's still people out there, and I know that the raw vegan community mostly bases a lot of their beliefs on self-empowerment, and they believe in a lot of these different things, opening the third eye, having these vibrations and feeling. I don't have that belief. I put all my beliefs in the Lord Jesus Christ, and I believe in this book. And I believe that what it says is basic instructions before leaving Earth. That is what Bible stands for. I don't think that's anything that happened by accident either. And I don't think it happened by accident that I was saved around the same time as I was practicing raw veganism a little bit and learning more about it. And those two things just kind of came together in my life. But a lot of the controversy on these issues could be really hard for somebody that doesn't understand the Bible, and they've given up on the Bible, and they've given up on all of those things. It could be really hard to try to understand, you know, where veganism comes into the Bible, and is the Bible vegan? People will ask that a lot of times. Well, there are different parts of the Bible that talk about different things. And if you don't understand it and you're just taking certain chapters and trying to use them for your own benefit, yeah, you can take a chapter and you can understand that one chapter, and it could say something about drinking wine. Well, it also talks not only about did Jesus drink wine, but it also talks about drunkenness and how it's an abomination to the Lord to have drunkenness. And it's an abomination to the Lord to practice other gods and false religions, which to me has a lot to do with, you know, the New World religions and things, or not even religions, but New World beliefs. And they're not really New World beliefs. When you read the Bible and you understand all of this was going on in the days of the Israelites, and all of these things happened, and history just continues to repeat itself. But you have to read the Bible from one side of it, which starts off in Genesis and ends up in Revelation, to understand it in a complete form. And the only way that I can explain that is if you had a book and you just read a few chapters and then you go to another part and you read a full chapters, you may have a distorted view of certain things, and then you can turn it into a contradiction if you've read one part and then you've read another part and it says two different things. And I think this is why people have such controversy about the Bible and what's in it. And I know there's a lot on YouTube and a lot talking about why Christians, it's the devil to be vegan, it's the devil to be a carnivore, it's not the devil, it is this, it's not that. And all of that confusion is absolutely nothing but the devil. That is the devil himself, is when you're dealing with confusion, because that's exactly what he is confusion, mass confusion. That is not the Prince of Peace and the Lord Jesus Christ and what he has set out for us originally. So when you start off in Genesis, it talks about the beginning of life. It talks about how God gave us the earth, in the trees bearing fruit and things, to give us that life force. And then there's parts of the Bible where it has talked about Jesus ate fish. Well, I heard Jesus ate fish. Well, he did eat fish. He ate fish to prove that he was alive at one time before he was resurrected. And that is, it talks about, I believe that is in Hosea, that it talks about that, which is chapter 4, verse 3. It talks about that, but it also explains about how God will take away all of our fish, and which is what's going on now. Taking away means that it's all becoming bad for us because of the earth and because of the contamination and all of that. So why would we want to put contaminated foods into our body in the first place? We wouldn't want to do that. But people really believe that because God ate fish, that we should eat fish. And because it talks in a few places in the Bible about where Jesus had eaten meat or lamb or something in that nature. But if you really read the Bible from front to back, you'll understand that that was not our purpose in the beginning. That was not the actual diet that we were designed to eat. That was during certain times. And it makes a lot of sense when you really understand it, but it does not make sense when you just go through certain chapters. And that's what I feel that happens, and why there's so much controversy in the world on all of these different issues. And I'm still studying myself, and I'm learning more and more. And I read the book every day, the good book. I sit and I read, and I always, at the end of my videos, I always put a chapter in out of a little book, which was, it is chapters from the Bible that is in this little book. And I think that that's important, because I think that it's important that I always incorporate that into my life every day. And I didn't get to where I got by accident. I learned all these things through trial and error, and I'm trying to give to other people my knowledge and what I have seen and learned. And I'm not afraid to do things in the raw vegan community that I have heard people that have talked about, not even myself, but talked about other Christians and said, well, this person is afraid to meditate because they're afraid of their Christian peers. Well, a lot of times it's not because we're afraid of our Christian peers. It's because we don't want to do something that we don't believe in. It actually is a belief in the Bible, when you understand it correctly, that you are not supposed to worship false gods. You're not supposed to open up your body to bad spirits, because you don't know what's going to come into it. And you're not supposed to use these chakras and use all of these false things, because they are false things. They are things that have been done since the beginning of the Bible days. There were people who went against the Lord Jesus Christ and God and did these things, and there were prices to pay. So a lot of this confusion is really hard to, it's really hard to explain to people anything unless they read the book. Unless they read this book, they don't understand. And I know that people were raised in different religions and they have different ideas. And I know that a lot of people, I think, have a lot of past anger issues even toward what they were taught. And sometimes everything just gets all twisted around and it comes out very confused, which is what this world is in right now, is confusion. And this is one of the reasons why I really, really stress very hard to people to start reading this book. And I'm not trying to throw religion on anybody, because I'm not religious. I just believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. Religious to me is just a man-made idea that they took what they wanted and made out of it. That is not God. God is not religion. God is God. And he is the everything, the all everything in this world. Everything that is, everything that was, is God. And that's the way that I see it. So there is no controversy for me about any of these things, and there's no fear. The only thing I fear is the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't fear all these things that people think that you should do, meditation and things. I'm not afraid to do those things. I used to do them. I don't want to do them anymore because I don't believe in it anymore, and because I've already went through that. And I understand now why I don't do it. And I just hope to be able to reach people on this issue. And I don't want people to feel that I'm being in judgment, because I'm not being judgmental. And that's one thing that Christians get accused of a lot, is being judgmental. But if you read the book and you understand it, you will look at life a different way. It's happened to thousands and thousands of people. And there's people out there that used to write books about New World ideas, and psychics and everything, that have turned to the Lord Jesus Christ. And they understand life totally different when they get there than what they used to. And I have a video out there talking about that. I've talked about all of these different people that have turned to the Lord Jesus Christ. And if you are a Christian, you really believe that we are in the end of times, closer to the end of times, getting closer and closer. Whereas the New World religion people really believe more in reaching a higher level of consciousness and going into the matrix and things of that nature. That's a lot of what you'll hear in the New World religion or lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, to me, a lot of that self-empowerment and those thoughts are just really, it's kind of me, I, and it's all about what I can do. And it's not about the Lord Jesus Christ, whereas the Bible teaches that the Lord is who we are to turn to. And there's so many different chapters that contradict all of these things and talk about all of these things that I don't believe in anymore. So I'm just going to close with that, and I'm going to read this, and this is out of Genesis. This is in the beginning, chapter 1. And God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved on the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So I hope that you liked this video. And if you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also stay tuned for my next video, which is the second part of this video, where I talk about the 6 high vibration foods that I think that people should eat and try to get that higher vibration from this lifestyle. And these are the things that I use in my daily life that help me to thrive. So I hope you'll be there. See you on the other side.